our last lesson, we looked at how to find the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane by using the distance formula. Today we learn how to find the midpoint of a line segment. Following on from our study of the massive ship collision in the North Sea, we have our cargo ship in yellow over here, and we have the oil tanker in purple over there. How do we find the midpoint between those two coordinates? We will follow these two steps at the bottom. We will, 1, write the coordinates of the points, 2, substitute the x and y values into this formula at the top of our page. From the x-axis, we have a value of 7. From our y-axis, we have a value of 3. For our next coordinate point, from the x-axis, we get a value of 9. From our y-axis, we get a value of 1. Our first point is 7, 3, so we have x1 and y1. Our second point is 9, 1, x2 and y2. Now it's a simple case of substituting the x and y values into our formula. Our x1 was 7, and we add x2, which was 9, and all of that is over 2. And for our y values, we had y1 is 3, plus y2 is 1, and that is also over 2. Working with the red x values, 7 plus 9 is 16, divide by 2 is 8. With our y values in blue, 3 plus 1 is 4, divide by 2 is 2. And we have our midpoint coordinate, 8, 2. Does 8, 2 make sense? In the middle of that line segment, what is the coordinate of that green circle? Well, it's perfectly in between 7 and 9, so the x value would be 8. And the y value is between 3 and 1, so that would be 2. Is 8, 2 our midpoint value? Yes, it is. Progress check. Have a go yourself, then check your answers with mine. So, calculating the midpoint between Withensea and Humberston. Looking at our pink cross, x value of 1 and a y value of -2. We have an x value of 2 and we have a y value of 2. Humberston is x1, y1. Withensea is x2, y2. Using our values, x1 was 1. We add our x2, which is 2. We divide that by 2. Our y1 was -2, and we add our y2, which was 2, and that is all over 2. Our x values, we have 1 plus 2 on top, which is 3. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. And our y value, -2 plus 2 is 0, divided by 2 is 0. Does it make sense? Our midpoint of the purple line, we can see that the x value would be 1.5. And we can also see that the y value is 0 because it is on the x-axis. Our second question, Humberston and Hull. Our x value for Hull, -3. Our y value for Hull, look on our y-axis, it is a y value of 3. It doesn't matter which point we label as our first or our second. We will simply label Hull as being our second point. So we have x2, y2. Step number 2, substitute the x and y values into the formula. x1 was 1. x2 was -3. Our y values, y1 was -2. y2 was 3. Our red x values, 1 plus -3. Well, 1 minus 3 is -2, and -2 divided by 2 is -1. Our y value, -2 plus 3 is +1, and 1 over 2 is a half. So our y value would be 0.5, a half. Does our midpoint value make sense? Yes, it does, because we can see our midpoint over here where I have my navy blue circle. What is the x value at this point? -1. What is our y value? A half. We simply follow these steps. Number 1, write the coordinates of the points. And number 2, substitute the x and y values into the formula, and we'll get our midpoint every time. Hey guys, this is Casey at Onetreemath. If you like the content, please remember to like and subscribe. Also, if you'd like some online tutoring, please email me at onetreemath@gmail.com. Cheers.